Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ashim Baraka Kodash, Barakathom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you, Akim, out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the Brother Raya with another video. And I've been on a kick lately getting on those Amalekite Edomites over in the land of Israel right now, posing as so-called Jewish people when they're clearly not the true children of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because everything that was said to happen when the true children of Israel were back in the land is not happening with those imposters over there right now. And with the video I'll be profiling titled Israel's Dangerous Religious Divide Within Judaism is just further going to show that point. And this is on the page Journeyman Pictures, who's profiling a video from 1998 titled Judaism Divided. The gulf between ultra-Orthodox and secular Jews is threatening Israel's stability more than their conflict with the Arabs, when in the scriptures, when the true children of Israel are back in the land, they're all going to be on one accord. There's going to be no divisions between doctrine or anything like that, because we're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments in us. This is Hebrews chapter 8. I'm going to read verse 8 through 11. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel, the northern tribes, or the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, and with the house of Judah, the southern tribes, or the so-called Negroes. And that right there cuts those imposters over there, because they call themselves Jewish or Jews and say they're of the tribe of Judah. They don't say anything about the other 11 tribes. And when you ask them where they're at, they'll say, oh, they're still the lost tribes. We don't know who they are. They're across the Euphrates or something like that. Just complete madness. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. Because we're going to have those new spiritual bodies, we're going to replace that stony heart with that fleshly heart, to where we're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments in us. There's going to be no divisions between us or between doctrines. We're going to have the one true doctrine. And as it says in verse 11, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. It's going to be automatic for us to do righteousness and follow the law, statutes, and commandments, because again, we're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments in us. And this video is kind of long, so I'm going to just jump around a bit.
The Western Wall, Judaism's holiest shrine, now an unholy battleground where Jew fights Jew.
We are now reclaiming what belongs to us.
This is Isaiah 60 and 18. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, because all the Israelites are going to be on one accord. We're not going to be fighting each other over what the true doctrine is, because again, we're going to have those fleshly hearts and have the law, statutes, and commandments in us. And on the other hand, these other heathen nations aren't going to come against us, because they're all going to be under our subjection. Wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise.
The Western Wall, the Torah, the Bible is ours. It was not given.
Which you imposters don't even follow like that. You follow that Talmud.
To the Orthodox establishment.
And speak Yiddish and not the Paleo-Hebrew.
And we want to be there and we want to have part in it.
For Rabbi Ehud Bandel and his congregation, a walk to the wall is a march into battle. They're members of a liberal stream of Judaism known, paradoxically, as conservative. Their presence here on a religious holiday is a direct challenge to the most observant of Jews, the Orthodox, who've ruled this place as they've ruled Judaism ever since Israel was created.
People had enough. You go in the street, you feel the anger. I'm really afraid what, God forbid, a violence, a civil war that will tear these people apart.
Violence shall no more be heard in thy land. Another cut to you imposters over there. This is Isaiah 65. I'm going to read verse 17 through 19. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and join my people, and the voice of weeping shall no more be heard in her, also no more violence in the land, nor the voice of crying. Because again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but when the true children of Israel are back in the land, we're going to have those laws, statutes, and commandments in us. We're not going to need to teach each other these laws, and we're all going to be on one accord.
For years in Israel, there was no alternative to orthodoxy. It reigned.
That will
And the voice of weeping shall no more be heard in her, nor the voice of crying.
For years in Israel, there was no alternative to orthodoxy. It reigned supreme. But new immigrants brought new ideas, new streams of Judaism. Now these people want equal recognition. On one level then, this is the struggle about the control of Judaism. In a broader sense, however, it's about much more than that. It's about what kind of state Israel will be. Will it be a democracy or a theocracy?
It's going to be based under the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. There's going to be no democracy in the land or any divisions on whether we're going to have a democracy or theocracy. There's going to be a strict order to things. Of course, at the top, you're going to have Yahweh the Most High. Then underneath Yahushai, King David's going to be ruling again. As it states in Ezekiel chapter 37, I'm going to read 24 to 25. And you clearly don't see King David ruling over there right now. The Iron Dome defense system or King David's slingshot anti-missile defense system isn't a substitute for King David. And David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children, and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. And underneath King David are going to be the 12 apostles, which on a higher note, King David was a part of the 12 apostles, if you can receive it. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 28. And Yahushai said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So you're going to have Yahweh, then Yahushai, then King David, then the rest of the 12 apostles. And under the 12 apostles, you're going to have the rest of the 144,000. And under the 144,000, you're going to have the rest of the 1/3. And then under the 1/3, you're going to have the 2/3, who are going to be reborn in the kingdom righteously, to where all of Israel is going to be on one accord, because we're going to have the laws, statutes, and commandments in us. There's going to be no divisions among us, and there's going to be no divisions on whether we're going to be a democracy or a theocracy.
Zvi Arya Ingbar was once a New York businessman.
Skip around a little bit more. Where do I want to go?
While the ultra-Orthodox wouldn't switch on a light, let alone drive a car on the holy day of rest, here no one gives it a second thought. Not even some of the rabbis.
I try to appeal to those who want to live in the Jewish world, but at the same time in the modernity. And I see it's a good way of living. Those who would like to stay in the old ghetto, in the shtetl, fine. But who those people to tell me if I'm right or wrong? According to what they did wrong because most of the Jews lived there. So simple.
Real quick, where's your beard at?
Rabbi Meir Azari leads the largest community of Reform Jews in Israel. Here, they're a relatively new and small group, but in the US, together with other liberal Jews, they constitute the majority. Despite this, Reform rabbis are not recognized as kosher by either Israel's Jewish authorities or the government.
There are hundreds and thousands of people that demand their services, religious services, from Reform rabbis. But we cannot give them that. I cannot lead a funeral, a wedding, or conversion. In the eye of the Orthodox community and the eyes of the state of Israel, my state, I'm nothing. I'm not a rabbi. It's ridiculous.
You're not. You're an Edomite.
It looks like a wedding. It was a wedding. But this did not constitute a legal marriage for Carmen and Uri. They had a rabbi, but he was the wrong type. Reform. Only weddings officiated by the Orthodox are recognized by the state.
So now this wedding wasn't recognised?
No.
And so what did you do to have a recognised wedding?
We went to Cyprus.
Civil weddings are not allowed in Israel, so Jewish couples must be married by an Orthodox rabbi or leave the country to do the paperwork.
That was the certificate they gave us. And
The
this
marital trade in Cyprus is booming.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that our members, Jews, when they want to get married, the clerk sitting in Cyprus, in Paphos or Larnaca, that during the morning is a fisherman and during the evening is a mayor of a small village, he is better than me to issue them a marriage certificate.